Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Titus Diorama action figure review. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Neca Disney's Gargoyles Lexington figure. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so as you can see, Lexington comes in that typical window box packaging that Neca packs all of their gargoyles in. It has some really nice artwork on the front. The cover does open up to reveal a nice pose of the action figure and the actual action figure and all of his accessories. The sides of the box has some really great product shots, so does the back. And it also has a list of all the other figures that come in this line currently. So let's go ahead and get Lexington out of the packaging. Now, before we take Lexington out of the packaging, I just want to show his box compared to some of the other figures. And Elisa's box isn't nearly as big as some of the other gargoyle figures that I've got, but Lexington's box is pretty slim and pretty small, which makes sense. He's the smaller gargoyle out of all of them, so he's going to come in a smaller packaging. All right, guys, so here's Lexington out of the packaging. Let's go ahead and take a really quick look at the accessories that he does come with, and then we'll take a quick look at the sculpting, the paint, and go over the articulation. So he does come with two head sculpts, the more relaxed everyday head sculpt and the more fighting or getting ready to fight or attack head sculpt. The sculpting on the heads are great. The paint on them are great. He comes with 6 hands, 2 open hands for wall climbing, 2 fisted hands for fighting it out, and then he has a hand to hold the remote controller, and then or the bottom of the crossbow, and he also has the hand that holds the crossbow. They are all well painted, well sculpted. He has the remote control. It's done really well. It's pretty basic. He's got the headpiece that goes with that clips over his head. And then he has 4 bolts and a crossbow. The thing I want to talk about the bolts here really quickly is that they are very thin. They are somewhat flexible, but he has no storage on them for them. So unless they're actually sitting in the crossbow itself, there's nowhere else to put them, and I'm afraid that I might lose them or break them because, again, they are thin and small. The crossbow itself is done really well. I do like the sculpting on it. Looks like real wood. It's got real chain on it. Very, very well done. And the arrows can sit and slide out. They don't actually shoot out. The arrow ends are way too thick for them to go out, and this does not have a mechanism to actually shoot with it. So that stated, guys, let's go ahead and talk about Lexington himself. With sculpt and paint, I think the sculpting is done really well. I think for the most part the paint is done really well. I do have a couple spots right out of the packaging where I do have some paint rub from the wings on the arms, but you have a figure that has wings that are extremely close to the arms. It's going to happen. For the articulation, there is some limitations with that due to the design of the wings. So for example, the arms can't do a full 360. You have to watch out where you're doing or stretching the legs because they are attached to the bottom of the wings. So that all comes into play when you're moving him around. But I assume most people are either going to have him in a pose like he's getting ready to jump off and fly, or more of a pose like this where he's going to be holding one of his accessories and going with that. Paint wise, they've done a really good job on the paint. Other than the rubbing, the shading's great. No other issues with that other than just the rubbing on the arms that I've seen. For the rest of the articulation, the head has a really wide range of movement. It can look pretty far up, can look pretty far down. The legs can kick this far forward, they can go pretty far back as well. They do have the swivel at the top. They have a 90-degree bend at the knee. It's on a ratchet, which is good. The feet do move up and down, and it's on a ratchet as well. The toes do move up and down. They're on a ratchet as well. They're very stiff. The upper body here, there are 3 points here that do move around. There's the hip, and then there's the chest. So of course you can do the normal move up and back, and it doesn't have a wide range. I'd like to see more of a range in that, especially for such a small figure, and be able to do much more maneuverability. But the chest part does swivel back and forth up there, and the inner ab part does as well. So it's really hard to get them when you want to get them lined up in a straight line. You have to do some maneuvering to get that. But overall, the articulation isn't bad due to the way that the wings are. Could they have done the wings differently? Maybe, but I don't mind it so much. And he's going to look good on my shelf. Lexington is the last gargoyle that I actually needed to complete the main gargoyles from the clan. So I'm really glad to finally have him. It's been a long time coming. I've been waiting for him to be come off pre-order for a very long time, and I got him for Christmas. My birthday. So it's great that I finally have him in my collection. He has some drawbacks with the articulation and stuff. Again, not too much of a big deal. And I'm really glad to be able to put him up on my shelf in the next couple of days. Anyway, guys, I hope that you liked this video. If you did, click on the like button. If you aren't already subscribed, click the subscription button. And as always, guys, stay nerdy.